I mean, he came from your balls, so I guess it kind of makes sense.
His first apartment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 77 of Preachin on Preacher, and the change in theme song means we're back to actual Preacher episodes. I'm Michael Ormond.
Joe Lennon.
Aidan Ralph.
And this week we will be having, in part 1, a quick recap of Preacher Season 2, and part 2 we'll be discussing episode 1, whose episode title escapes me.
Angelville.
Angelville.
Oh, sorry, Angelville.
There's got to be a bit of French in there.
No, they mentioned... En français.
Why does everyone do that? Simpsons. I'm blaming Simpsons on that. 100%.
The arrogant French.
Oh, and occasionally, by the way, probably chime in, we have Ken Keegan. Say hi, Ken.
You're supposed to say hi, Ken. For God's sake.
What? He was...
I'm on a bad joke roll tonight.
That joke is played out, let's be real. A couple of things. We should probably be trying to explain why we haven't been podcasting for about 2 years now.
Does it feel
no,
like
that's I think that's valid. I mean, I don't count what we do as a podcast. So.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Mick is back with sass. He's always had a bit of sass.
Got a whole lot of sass for that ass.
Whole lot of
sass. Whole lot of sass. We got a whole lot of sass.
Sorry, go on. You were going to explain why we're terrible podcasters.
So part of when was Muriel's wedding? When did we actually do that shit? I think it was
May. No, first week of June.
First week of June, yeah.
First week of June.
Aiden. Yeah. So was it? It can't have been the first week of June.
Was it? It might have been.
I thought it was longer ago, to be honest. It feels like
it's only about 3 weeks.
Long time.
I think we're only out about 3 weeks. But we're back now. And that's the most important.
It's not as bad as I thought.
You know what? We are getting it back into this kind of groove of thing. So with the way this is, we're going to be doing it Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because the episode airs on a Monday.
Yeah.
So we get the episode, we watch it, we get rolling on this.
Yeah.
I think if we can stick to that for the 10 weeks, I think we should be alright. There will be 1 week we definitely won't be able to. But that we can talk about.
Which week is that?
Well, I'll be in America for one of those Tuesdays.
Oh, right, okay.
I think that's episode 3, maybe.
Oh, I'll be in Spain for that one.
I will just podcast by myself.
Yeah.
Ken, you're getting in to help Nick while we're away, or we can Skype it. Oh my God, we should totally try to Skype it.
That'd be fun.
How the fuck are you going to get Skype from the middle of a field in
the festival?
Madrid?
Will be over. It'll just be in Miriam's apartment at that point. Yeah, look, we'll cross that bridge we go to. Do Tuesdays generally suit you, Ken, as well, or? Yeah. Generally? Yeah. Well, I'll be at work, but I'll be finished. You'll be in work, but you're finished.
How about we discuss podcast scheduling?
That's true. All right, let's get on. We were doing
look, we'll talk about this
recap,
after.
Right?
But no, just before I say that, just to apologise to people at home that listen, because there were a few trends on Twitter. People seem to be blaming you.
What?
People seem to be blaming you, Mick. There was a couple of hashtags that were knocked around. One was Mick No Mormont,
okay,
which I thought was quite clever.
Mick what?
Mick No Mormont.
Okay.
Mick No More. It's fun, your name.
Okay.
It was bad.
Simply No Mormont, and my favourite of the three, fuck Mick. So people seem to take you as the whipping boy, and
so who used those hashtags?
Our fans. Our fans. Yeah.
Or was it just you?
Our tens of fans. I wrote that note on my phone a couple of weeks ago, so I thought it was funny at the time.
I would say it was Aidan Ralph, Mary Ralph, and Nicola Ralph.
What the fuck is a hashtag?
Don't forget Jessica as well.
Well, she just gave it to...
She does fuck Mick.
Phrasing. I was going to say she just gave it to me.
Phrasing. Okay.
Pegging. Anyway.
Recap.
So, season 2. No, the three of us weren't super hot on season 2. What did you think of season 2, Ken, overall? Did you think it was amazing?
You loved
really?
it. I remember talking to you before. You actually loved that season. Yeah.
And there were a few people that I spoke to outside of this that were like, season 2 was way better than season 1. I was like, I want whatever drugs you have, because if
Bitch,
that's
you crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Adele felt the same as well. She was like, no, she loved season 2. And you've read all the comics as well, Ken, right?
Close enough to the end.
Yeah. So you've read way past that point anyway.
So on reflection for me, I think the highs of season 2 were probably a little higher.
Yeah.
but the lows were like a lot lower.
Yeah.
That's it. I remember you saying that you'd have one fucking amazing episode where we were all like, "This is back on track."
Yeah, we're back.
And
Yeah.
then you'd have three
Then three.
episodes of nothing. And the one things we wanted to see more was definitely the Hell stuff, the Hitler stuff, Arseface. That was fantastic. Hell was done absolutely to perfection. It was a great kind of, even set the tone great for it. And then they'd make you forget it for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then come back to that. And then the Saints of Killers was a big badass. And then they kind of shoved him down like, you know what? You're nothing. Get back. And that really pissed us off.
You're that
I remember
badass,
that.
except someone can just tell you, "Hey, go away, go away, just go away."
Back behind the curtain, bitch.
You know, I think I probably said this last year as well when we were doing it, and I haven't had a chance to rewatch since. But it might be a case that because we're a generation that are so used to binge watching everything, maybe that's something to do with it as well. Like if you binge watch season 2, maybe that whole thing will play better, and you wouldn't really miss Hitler and Arseface as much, being away for a couple of episodes because you're kind of watching it all in one night or over 2 nights or whatever. You know what I mean? So I must actually go back and binge watch the whole.
I wonder
again.
if there's a 10 episode cut of that season that's super tight, and the extra 3 episodes from season 2, they were like, "Well, we need to fill it out."
Yeah.
Maybe maybe that's exactly why they only have 10 this season.
Because it felt like
They had
did they
13
only have 10?
last.
Because
It's only 10 this season.
It felt like they literally.
Is it just 10 again?
Yeah.
Because it felt like they.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
They're back down to 10 again, and it's a straight run all the way
Oh,
to
okay.
the end. There's no breaks. So this will be a very quick right through it. There's no, hey, you get a break or anything. We're going
Yeah.
straight
You got
through.
something in your eyebrow, by the way. It's bugging me.
Is it?
The other one. The other one. Yeah, thank God. I thought you had leprosy or something there. Anyway,
Thought it.
Wow.
we'll go through episode by episode just to remind ourselves of season 2 and what the fuck happened.
Sure. Yeah.
Very briefly. Let's
very
not.
briefly. Like,
As
I have
briefly
quick
as we can,
synopsis
yeah.
as well.
You
so
have.
if you wanted, like how it's done, not in episodic.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to.
Okay, so in season 2, on the road, the opening episode, so Jesse, Tulip, and Cassidy start their journey to find God, which is quickly put on hold after a police car flags them down, and they go on a car chase involving multiple police cars. When they stop due to empty gas, Jesse uses Genesis to make the police officers do embarrassing things. That was fucking brilliant. I remember that. But
that start was fucking unreal.
It was amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Still a shite
so
song.
They're yes, come on,
What
Eileen.
song
That
was
was Come on, Eileen, which is
Yeah,
a
not
fucking
a
great
fan.
song. Get the
It's
fuck.
very fucking catchy.
It's really good. So Jesse uses Genesis to make the police officers do embarrassing things, but they are abruptly interrupted by the Saint of Killers, who begins massacring all of them. That was badass as well. Barely getting away, the trio make their way to Mike, a religious scholar that Jesse knows through his father. Mike reveals that a local strip club manager has supposedly seen God frequently in the strip club. Mike later kills himself when the Saint of Killers arrives shortly after the trio leave to avoid telling them where Jesse is. So at the strip club, the manager is forced to tell Jesse and Shield that God only came because he liked the jazz music. After that, she is shot accidentally by a security guard that Cassidy was fighting. At a motel later that night, Jesse sees the Saint of Killers walking up the road and learns that Genesis is unable to work on him. That was a fucking amazing episode.
That was quite
I think
a good one.
we
Even
were
that
quite
shock
high
ending
on
to it.
the on that
On
first
the meth.
episode. On the
Oh,
meth
sorry,
and
on-
the
yes,
first
yes, yes.
episode.
Yeah.
That episode overall was just, even reading it there, just like picturing those scenes back in your mind again. That was fucking
I
tremendous.
think we were quite happy with how the season started.
Yeah.
Like it was a
Yeah,
strong
it's true.
opening because you had that episode, and then I think it's the second episode, the one where they go to Vegas.
Yeah, and it shows Anvil is completely fucked
Yeah.
by that thing, which I remember saying I wish they explored that a little bit more. The whole destruction of the
Yeah.
town. It was like, oh shit. Because one of the favorite side characters I loved from season 1 was your one who was working in the church for him.
Oh yeah,
I forget her name now, but
Doesn't matter.
Really liked her
Dead.
in it, and completely just everyone's gone. Fucked.
Yeah. So, second episode was Mumbai Sky Terror. Jesse, Cassidy, and Shield narrowly escape from the Saint of Killers, learning of Anvil's fate in the process. Cassidy then remembers he saw Fior on television, now looking like a local act in an Indian-style casino and hotel. That was very fucking odd.
Very funny though.
That was
it was quite
That
funny.
was
yeah.
the comedy of that season.
yeah. The drug fueled
Yeah.
bender, like
Oh,
10 minutes of
yeah.
that episode was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then
Blah, blah. At the bar, Jesse comes to the conclusion that he might find God in New Orleans. Leaving the hotel, Jesse tells Fior to find peace. Fior tells the Saint of Killers that the contract is still valid, and then he asks the Saint to finally kill him, which he does. That was a pretty good episode as well, I thought.
yeah,
The Fior thing was
weird.
very weird, and an absolute 180 from where the comics were and stuff like that.
They're not afraid to do that though, and
Which is fine. Like,
that.
I mean, I was saying this to Mick this morning. Like, if they're going to stray from the comics, that's all well and good, but it has to be as good as the comics or better.
So what happened to Fiore in the Fiore? Sorry, I think I've been doing that since the first time we recorded this podcast. Yeah. What happens to him in the graphic novels?
Nothing like this. Anyway, they stick together. Like one that they're never apart. Anyway, and I think the Saint. They're both sort of shitting themselves and stuff, and the Saint eventually, I think the Saint finds them in the comics. Ken, you've read them more recently than I have, I think, have you?
It's been so long for me. I might go read them again this week.
Yeah.
I have
Doesn't he kill them in hell? Does he not meet them in hell the way they originally met him to bring him to Earth?
Yes, I can't say they meet the Saint Killers. They wake up the Saint Killers and bring him back to get Jesse.
Mm-hmm. We might have to stop cutting that because like we're not picking up anything that Ken says.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be big silent parts of audio.
I know, that's why I wanted to get the other fucking mic and I can't find it at home.
Yeah, I have the Fiore's thing here. Yeah, I remember Fiore and his partner Blank tried to make good on the situation by waking the Saint Killers. Backfires, so Custer uses the voice of command to learn all about God's abandonment and stop with Satan in his tracks, blah, blah, blah. Fiore and the Blank were exiled to Earth where they actually did quite well. Opened a casino in Las Vegas where they indulged in the pleasures.
Oh, okay.
That was about it.
Yeah, there was no there's no separation though. One of them didn't end up leaving the other, and there's no sort of semi implication that they were gay or anything like that, you know. But yeah, so that was episode 2. Okay. It was fucking weird.
Still
but still
on a good track, yeah.
It was still on track. It was getting a bit weird. Yeah, I agree.
Still not too bad. Yeah. Episode 3 then, Damsels. Arriving in New Orleans, Jesse, Tulip and Cassidy search jazz bars looking for God. Jesse's appalled when a man in a dog costume is presented them as God to be sexually abused. Jesse meets a singer who was later kidnapped by a mysterious group and saved by Jesse. The woman is later revealed to be an operative of the mysterious group and confirms Janice's existence to their boss, Hair Star. In the meantime, Tulip and Cassidy go to a house owned by Dennis, seemingly a friend of Cassidy's. Tulip tells Cassidy that she is hiding from a man named Victor, whom she previously betrayed. Hoping to end the problem, Tulip allows herself to be found and caught by Victor's men. Meanwhile, in hell, Eugene is made to relive the memory of the day became Arseface repeatedly, with the memory showing it was not his fault. A dysfunction in hell eventually pulls him out of the memory when he chosen to be in a prison-type location. He learns that his cell's door is unlocked, and he walks out into a long corridor filled with cells. Calling out for help, Eugene is shocked to see terrified to see Adolf Hitler walk out of the cell next to him. That was a fucking amazing episode.
That was probably the best episode of the season.
I agree.
By far. Like, it had that shock ending with Hitler where you're like, holy fuckballs. And his memory, the reliving of it, no matter how many times they played it over, was enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, even the actors, your one who plays the girl he's crazy about, fucking unreal.
It was incredible, yeah.
That whole, everything about that episode was good for me.
And also just the whole noir tinge to Jesse's search for God and stuff among the bars. You know, that sort of almost Hollywood cliche where he's walking past, you just see like neon signs fading through the background and stuff. I love all that sort of shit. So that was really, really enjoyable.
Yeah.
So still on the right track.
It was still good to that point. I bet we were really high on it at that time.
Episode 4 is Dallas, isn't it?
No, Victor.
Can we just skip Dallas? Like synopsis or whatever.
I couldn't remember which.
I'll read like 2 lines of it. So Victor, and then Victor. So that's
Ruth
episode
Nega
4.
wastes 40 minutes of my time. That's the episode synopsis.
That's borderline harsh, but all right. So Victor, in an infomercial, Cassidy recognized the actor who played the imposter God who spoke to Jesse's congregation. They locate his talent manager who provides them with a demo reel given to him by the people who hired the actor. In the tape, the man is executed in order to get to heaven. I actually like that thing. That was good. Cassidy reveals to Jesse that Tulip went to Victor and may be in danger. Tulip is met with an extremely frosty reception of Victor's home before Jesse arrives to save her. After confronting Victor, Tulip tells Jesse that Victor is her husband. Meanwhile, in hell, the cells keep breaking down, and in down times, Eugene bonds with Hitler and learns that his worst memory is 1918 Munich when he met an art gallery owner. The superintendent of the ward meets with Eugene to tell him to act evil because he is in hell, and that they will be watching him sanction deviant behaviour. That wasn't a bad episode either, actually.
I don't think that was the episode I was thinking of. That one was all right.
It's the next one where things started, for us anyway, not for Ken. But for us, it started going a bit.
Did you like that episode, Dallas? I know you're not going to be able to hear anything, but is it yes? Yes, okay. He did like it.
You could sit next to Joe and use his mic. Oh, okay. I must do a search for that other fucking mic at home. So then episode 5, Dallas. This is where things started going a little bit wrong for us anyway. In flashbacks, it is shown what happened to Jesse and Tulip after Carlos betrayed them and Tulip lost their unborn child in Dallas. They tried to lead a normal life with legal jobs, but failed to get pregnant again. That was the lackadaisical sex.
Yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah.
So the thing I did, there was one part of that episode that has stuck with me. You know the bit where they just keep... It was where they kind of compared the images of hell they had with the repeating moment in your life.
Yeah, and he keeps going to the liquor store.
Yeah, he keeps going to the liquor store, buying the liquor, having sex, going to the liquor store, all that, doing the pregnancy test thing. And that was very good, and the music that was along with that was very good. That was good, yeah. But I think it was more just the detour from the actual happenings that was what was like, oh, okay, this episode has no real consequence.
Yeah. So after a while, Tulip secretly resumes her work as a contract criminal. When Jesse finds out she's back in crime, also learning that she's been taking contraceptive pills all the time, he decides to turn to his father's church in order to become a preacher himself, which leads to their breakup. After that, Tulip meets Victor and marries him for money and power. However, when Danny calls her and tells her that she found Carlos, she leaves Victor immediately. In the present, Jesse ponders to kill Victor while Tulip takes her stepdaughter to Dennis's house. However, Cassidy can persuade his friend not to do it, claiming that Tulip has never stopped loving him. Instead, Jesse makes Victor sign divorce papers. Indeed, the Saint of Killers arrives at Victor's house looking for Jesse and kills Victor. At gunpoint, his scared daughter has been hiding in a closet, tells the murderer that she knows where Jesse is. Do you know what? Reading back, that doesn't sound like a bad episode.
It was a bad episode. It even read boring. I think it really did.
Do you think so?
I think, I'd say we need to break these into smaller things, or else we're going to be here till like 3 in the morning.
Okay. Episode 6, Sakosha.
It's like 6.
Saint of Killers turns up at Dennis's home. Jesse learns about a Japanese company that's taking over the soul dealing business.
Oh, yeah, okay. I remember
he extracts 1% of his soul and gives it to the Saint just in time. Instead of sending to hell, Jesse disarms the Saint of Killers, locks him in the armored truck, and drives it to a place called Angelville, where he sinks it in a swamp.
I think that was the first showing or mention of Angelville, wasn't it?
So it's an angel. So he's in Angelville. I'd forgotten that detail, that that's where he is, which is interesting.
He's not still there. He got out.
No, he got...
Oh, did he?
Yeah, remember he was taken out of it, and then
there's a lot more with him,
He was brought to hell.
Okay, so episode 7, finally. That's right, sorry, I forgot that. Yeah. Episode 7, Pig. In Vietnam, Hairstyle investigates the case of the floating pig.
Yeah, floating.
That was the Hairstar introduction episode, wasn't it?
Really was,
finally. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
They took their time.
They really did.
That episode was good.
There was. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, Jesse, Tulip, and Cassie participate in a game where people get shot at while wearing bulletproof vests and trick the other players in order to rob their money. Dennis tells his father that he is dying. Tulip suffers from nightmares about the Saint of Killers. Jesse has second thoughts about having sacrificed part of his soul for his friends and discusses the matter with a street preacher. Hairstar is given information on the phone that his next target is Jesse.
But that was when I really started fucking hating the Dennis story. I hate it so much.
That's because the entire thing was just him begging, kill me.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Get to the job.
I didn't find anything really appealing about it, and when it finally ended, I think I cheered. And I think I remember on the episode where he ended up, he threw him out the window, didn't he?
Yeah,
he burned him up.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, thank God.
That was an awesome. It was a great death, though.
Yeah, it was a great death.
That death, though.
That death, though.
So far, this isn't reading like a bad season to me. I think I need to rewatch it. I don't know. I think.
Yeah, but it's also taking out only the main points. Like it's not showing the drag that we found in some episodes.
I know that, but I think maybe if you're binging on it and you're banging through like 2 or 3 episodes a night or more, depending on how much free time you have, depending on whether or not you have a child. I think.
Who has a child?
No
idea. I think Mick does.
Do I?
Mick doesn't.
Or maybe it's
Holy
Ken.
Shit! Look, there's all this kid stuff all around.
No. I thought that was just to pacify us when we're getting
that's all for Aiden, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, one.
Bright colours distracts him for a while.
Yeah. So, episode 8, Holes. In Hell, the superintendent announces that the reason for the power outages is a person who's not supposed to be there and vows to find the culprit. Hilda suspects it's Eugene, blah, blah, blah. Eugene is thrown into a hole where he's shown a fabricated memory of Tracy not shooting herself, but telling that she has promised herself to God, as well as kissing Jesse. That scene was deadly. So in the end, Eugene still maims himself with a gun. In New Orleans, Dennis health deteriorates. Don't care. Audition tape analysed of that God guy.
Oh, yeah.
Serial number of the
That
gun
was actually good.
has been filed off. Tulip has a new refrigerator installed in the apartment. She follows the holes left by the bullet of the Saint killers to the adjacent apartments and finds Lara Featherstone. An agent of Hair Star has been surveying Jesse. On a phone call, Jesse asks someone called Seamus for advice on how to handle Dennis and gets told not to do it.
Yeah, 2 really bad Irish accents in less than 10 seconds. Really, really burnt into
You
my
meant
brain.
Cassidy
I
there,
think-
not Jesse.
No, I think... oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Jesse?
You said Jesse, but it was
I
Cassidy.
apologise.
Yeah.
On a phone call, Cassidy asked someone called Seamus, blah, blah. Do you know, I don't think his accent is bad. Jesse. Or Cassidy.
Actually,
Sorry. I don't think Cassidy's
We'll
accent
talk
is
about
bad.
the new episode soon, but
Yeah,
it's
anyway.
better in the new episode. I will agree on that.
I think he's actually quite good. My one problem was in season 1, there was a mention that he's from Dublin. I was like, he's not from Dublin.
Nah, that's not a hope.
That's not
that's
a
not
Dublin
no.
accent.
No,
No.
it's a vague culty accent, and it pretty much works.
If he is from Dublin,
So-
he should talk something like us.
Exactly, yeah. One of my favourite bits in the comics, by the way, at one point Cassidy's held and tortured by this guy, and somebody shoots his testicles off, and you know he can regenerate and stuff. Somebody shoots his bollocks off, and he said, "Do you think that's gonna grow back?" And he just sort of says in a faint, croaky voice, "By Jesus, I fucking hope so." It's amazing. And then like your man gets tackled by Jesse in the thing. Jesse throws him down to a pit. Your man, his neck gets broken, so he can't move. Like, and then you just see Cassidy like going over to him. Cassidy just goes, big smile on his face. How are you? Oh, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite bits in the whole comic. Anyway, number 9, puzzle piece. Agents of the Grail discover evidence of Jesse's power, but Hairstar, uninterested, orders him to kill Jesse. After a whole Grail SWAT team fails, Hairstar is advised to activate Brad in order to complete the task. So combat, which is a combat drone, as we all remember.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
The missile destroys Harry Connick Jr.'s house instead, killing the singer. Hairstar meets Jesse at a bar and offers help in the quest for God. Again, I remember that being a pretty good episode.
Yeah,
That
'cause,
was that the
ending
one
was good
where
as well.
Dennis finally turned, because one of the moments I remember from the SWAT team coming in was Dennis like hopping
Yes.
out of the bed or out of the wardrobe.
Yes.
And
During the fight of the soldiers, it is revealed that Cassidy has indeed turned Dennis into a vampire. Episode number... That was a good one, I think. Episode number 10, while Lara Featherstone worms her way into Tulip's confidence in order to make her make mischief, and Cassidy bonds with his son, who appears to have no control over his vampire desires.
Yes, I remember.
Jesse repeatedly uses his powers on Airstar to make him reveal the true nature of the Grail. So, blah, blah, blah. Later, Jesse meets the descendant of Jesus Christ. He's named Humperdoo.
Humperdoo! Yes!
I know that's comic accurate, but I fucking hate that.
2,000 years of inbreeding. That's what you
Yeah.
get.
2,000 years of inbreeding. Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, they did it, and I can't believe they actually did it.
Mhm.
Even the pissing part.
Yeah. It worked in the comics.
Bro, Ken's getting flashbacks over there.
It works perfectly in the
Humperdoo.
comics, and it's in the comics you're reading it, like, this is fucked up. In the TV show, I don't know how well it necessarily worked.
Maybe it just didn't translate, yeah.
Maybe, yeah,
As soon as they haven't referenced their talk, they're done anything back on it again.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think they might have got a little bit of backlash. It's like,
Do you think?
you really done the actual descendant
Yeah.
of Christ is an absolute inbred
Imbecile, yeah.
imbecile. Is putting it lightly.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, yeah. Humperdoo and then touches his disability due to inbreeding, which makes him unfit to fulfill the role of the new Messiah. Well, yeah, to say the least. Hairstar suggests that Jesse should use his powers to fill the gap left by God missing, which Jesse declines, relying on his friends.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Tulip is manipulated and led to the Saint Killer's weapons, which makes her want to confront Jesse about it.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad of an episode, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. Yeah.
Humperdoo, again, not sure how well that worked, but I will
what?
rewatch this shit.
I
Mhm.
applaud them for that episode. It was ballsy to put that on
It took
TV.
it
The
took
amount of
balls,
people
yeah.
you know were going to fucking backlash that.
Because
Like,
I remember like the week before as well, where you and me were saying, there's something I think they might do, and if they do it, then holy fuck. And the next week,
yeah,
Mick was like, so was that what they... Yeah, they
Yeah.
did it. They fucking did it.
they did it, and they didn't even hold back. They
No,
went
not even a
full-
little. They went full retard.
Yeah,
They literally went full retard.
they did. They went full retard.
Episode 11, Backdoors, and in flashbacks, the teenage Jesse is submerged by his grandmother, Langelle, in a pond locked inside the office to break... in a pond locked inside a coffin to break his will. In the present, when Jesse and Julep have the armored truck race in the swamp, the Saint killer seems to have disappeared, which leads to tension, of course. Let me see. Julep tries to have the weapons the Saint killers melted down, but finds that they cannot be destroyed. She then sends them to Brazil by mail. That's fucking odd.
That was cool. She tried to put it in like a molten.
Yeah, that
thing.
seems
That
cool.
was cool.
It is revealed the armored truck has been swapped by the Grail, and the Saint Killers is released by an operative on Hairstar's order. In hell, after seeing Hitler's worst memory of his last day as a good person, Eugene accepts his help to escape, and they enter the hole for a back door together. You. more you. Episode 12, on your knees. It's hot. In the hole in hell, Hitler tells Eugene that he has to prove that he's not to belong there in order to find the back door. When he does, they can escape through a shaft.
This is reading
Phrasing.
beautifully.
Yep. Meanwhile, Jesse declares he does not want to think about God anymore. While he masturbates. No, that's not true. I made that part up. So, Jesse, after his release, Saint Killers attacks Jesse and his friends at Dennis' apartment. The Saint Killers attacks Jesse and his friends at Dennis' apartment, leaving injuring Julep, Cassidy, and Dennis in the process, but is stopped by the superintendent from hell, who threatens to put his family in hell. She takes him with her, telling Jesse that he's fortunate to have Hairstar on his side. Back in hell, the Saint demands to meet Satan. The ambulance that Jesse used to take his friends to the hospital belongs to the Grail and brings Julep and Cassidy to Hairstar, who reveals his plans for Jesse to them, and also telling them that Jesse does not really care for them. After watching the news on TV, the Pope announces announces God's disappearance and the coming of the Messiah.
Could you imagine if that actually happened? The Pope just brings out Humperdoo.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So Jesse draws the conclusion that he has no choice but to take over God's job. He calls on Hairstar, who then kneels before him. Number 13, finally.
Finale.
End of the road. In a flashback, teenage Jesse steals money from tourists in Angelville and is bullied by the men who work for his grandmother. When he kills a chicken in a fit of rage, he asks his grandmother to revive the animal. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip that.
It's a good foreshadowing, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Jesse
I don't think good foreshadowing counts if it's in the same episode.
No, for season 3 start opening.
Yeah, but it was called, like... The reason I didn't think that was particularly good was that they introduced this fact that his grandmother can apparently revive dead things in the same episode where a major character is quote-unquote killed.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's just kind of like...
Yeah, but
if that had like been a thing where they interspersed those earlier in the season,
yeah,
and then the root negative or the Tulip thing happened in the last episode, and you had to call back 2 or 3 episodes for it, that would seem to me like more
sensible.
Yeah, and kind of you're planning further ahead rather than just, well, we need someone who can bring someone back to life because we're going to kill off Tulip. Let's introduce at the start of this episode, oh yeah, she can bring people back to life. Or she can bring something back to life.
A whole chicken.
She gets shot in the comics too, by the way. But she gets shot by either Jodie or TC. And it's not grandmother who brings her back. It's God.
Yeah, God brings her back.
God brings her back. And at one stage, God talks to Cassidy as well. Cassidy goes back to Jesse afterward. Like, God's like, you're an abomination and all this sort of shit to Cassidy. Mm-hmm. And then Cassidy goes back to Jesse afterwards and says, do you know something? Having met the good Lord himself, I can honestly say he's a bit of a prick.
It's such a good reaction. I love that.
Oh, it's fantastic. So Jesse is supposed to appear. Next, Jesse is supposed to appear as a guest on Jimmy Kimmel's talk show after that viral video thing.
He took out the Armenian terrorists or whatever nationality they were.
But Jesse claims this is not what he intended. So Tulip uncovers that Lara Featherstone has been spying on the group. She's shot by Lara Featherstone then. When Genesis does not work to save Tulip, Jesse, seemingly having lost his powers, prevents Cassidy from turning into a vampire, leading to her death. Jesse and Cassidy drive to Angelville with her body, where the resurrected chicken is still alive. When Eugene and Hitler manage to escape hell, Hitler bolts immediately.
That was fucking
Great.
hilarious.
In a motel room with the man-dog costume, God emerges from the bathroom in a blinding light.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Reading back on it doesn't read as bad as I remember.
Like, not really bad. Again, it wasn't very lackluster ending to the season.
It wasn't all. That's some ways. It wasn't all bad. Certainly.
No, I don't think we ever said it was all bad.
No,
I said there were quite a few negatives and down points.
Yeah,
there were quite a few like positives as well. And
of course.
As I said at the start of this kind of recap, I think the highs were very high, but then there were too many lows for it to really be considered great.
The 13 episodes gave them a chance to introduce so many things as well. Like, you look at what the difference between season 1, you look at season 2, we've got Hairstar, you've got Angelville just starting to come into it, you've got everything from the Hell stories, Arseface's ones. There is quite a lot in 13 episodes, and I think maybe the break in it or not binging.
Yeah.
And I think, again, reading the synopsis, we're going through it right now, I think one of our major problems with season 2 was that you touch on some story points and then it'd be 3 or 4 episodes before it went back to that. They were especially guilty of that with the Hell stuff.
Yeah.
Because you'd have Hell in like episode 2 and then it wasn't again till episode 5 or 6. And it's like, I'm really interested in what's happening there. Like, show me that part.
Yeah, true.
And I think overall Hell was probably the most interesting, at least personally for me, the most interesting arc of season 2.
I think I can agree on that.
Or at least one of the consistently good parts of season 2. Yeah. And I'm kind of hoping for season 3 that they don't take that same approach where we'll have Eugene in episode 2, but then not again till episode 5. And understandably, they can't have everybody in every episode, I guess. But it speaks to maybe too broad a focus if you're having 3 or 4 episode gaps where they don't have certain characters in, especially, title characters. And because I don't watch a lot of TV, and the only thing I can think of that would have that many characters is something like Game of Thrones, I don't know how Game of Thrones handles it. Like,
surprisingly well.
So very surprisingly well. Like it's
that's what I mean. I don't think
3 times as many characters.
I don't think
probably
from what I've seen anyway. I don't think there's too many episodes where you won't see like Tyrion won't not be in 3 episodes of the show.
They do very well at
even if it's just one scene, or
it does continue that person one. And there's only maybe one character I can think of that you might not see for like half a season or a season, and that's it. The rest, you're pretty much the Stark that was up north.
Bran?
No, the uncle.
Or the one with no legs.
Uncle
Benjen
disappears around the time from. You'll see him once, and then 11 episodes later you might see him.
Yeah, but the book was like that because he disappeared in the start of the first book, and it wasn't until like book 4 that he came back or whatever.
It was kind of good that they did that, like in a way. But with every other character, they don't do it. So that's a good example.
I don't think we see. I think we've seen the hot woman quite enough in the recent seasons of Game of Thrones. The red woman.
The Red Witch.
I call it the hot woman.
Melisandre.
She's in a lot in the last season there now.
Not enough.
The season before.
So hot.
Yeah, until she takes her.
Well, she is
until she takes her pendant off.
I know.
She is
the hot woman.
Well, no, isn't she the Lord of Fire's like preacher guy? So she's hot.
Oh, sweet mother of fuck.
So hot.
Anyway, are we going to go into?
I think that covers our
2.
recap of season.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Actually. Half hour.
It reads okay. Again, I think if I was going to rewatch it, maybe I would, from watching it in a like big chunk of time, it would leave a better impression on me.
Yeah.
But I remember week to week, it was kind of like, oh, come on.
I think there's a point there, like in the middle or maybe close to like around the second, maybe the second half, where there was like 3 episodes in a row, and like all 3 of us were just kind of bummed out. We're just like this is just not doing it for me right now. Like, this is tough. Like, not that I'm saying I'd give up on it, because I think even if I was watching this by myself, I wouldn't give up on it, because
you want to see it through to the end. You like the material so much,
because I love the source material a lot. So, should we move on to part 2?
Yeah,
I don't know
part
what
2 sounds good.
Cool.
I don't know what you'll put in the middle of this, but yeah.
Just a sound of me just jacking off. I'll jerk it and then I'll record it and then it'll be that.
Oh, jisms.
No,
Sweet
it won't.
fuck.
It won't actually be that.
Oh, okay, no, that's probably a better idea.
I could record Ryan talking, so proof that I have a kid. Just put it in the middle of the episode.
Jesus,
yeah, but that's just audio.
You went from jerking off to like recording your son.
Yeah, please don't mention those in less than 3 seconds between each other ever again.
I mean, he came from your balls, so I guess it kind of makes sense.
Is the first apartment?
Yeah,
First apartment.
yeah,
twin rooms.
Yeah. Oh, those noisy neighbours.
And an easy
Clink, clank, clink, clank, clink. Shut up.
Okay, so we're going to part 2.
We are going to part 2.
I hate when this guy walks.
I
Clink,
don't
clank, clink, clank.
Oh no, not horse riding.
Why am I keeping my keys down my boxers?
No, your balls are like clanking together.
Part 2. And welcome back to part 2 of the podcast, where we'll be discussing Season 3, Episode 1, titled Angelville.
Make carry your balls.
Empty now.
Oh, yeah. Still clacking against each other because of the heat.
Jesus Christ, what a start.
Betty Swallocks.
Betty Swallocks, indeed.
I was using spoonerism, sir. Just suggesting that you're walking in the manner that's just your scrotum stuck to your legs, sir. Anyway.
Okay.
So
here we go. Angelville, first episode.
This was the fast show, sorry. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, initial thoughts on this episode, gentlemen?
Creepy start to the season.
Indeed.
But also really good. Like, the black and white really set the tone
Mm-hmm.
for that kind of, oh, this is good. Because it was that kind of cold opening where it was like,
Yeah.
let's take you back a few years.
Yeah.
Just so you can see how much of a bitch this woman is.
I enjoyed the episode. Like, I know I don't want to make it's not a criticism because it's the first episode of the season. Because obviously, you know, get out in front of that. There's no Hitler, no Eugene, no Hairstar, no all the it's but that's what I mean. It's the first episode, so I think that's perfectly fine. They have to establish directly what happened to Tulip, how does that get solved, and introduce a whole raft of new characters that I imagine are going to be mainstays for this entire season.
Big time. Yeah, I'd imagine big time. They're going to be front and center.
So my main, sorry to criticize again, my main problem with this episode, now, like, okay, Jesse, Tulip, and Cassidy, they're not super close to the comic origins either. But I don't know, maybe it's the case that I'm just kind of used to that by now or whatever. But I think Jodie, TC, and Grandma Langell,
okay.
The three of them.
What a coincidence that her last name is Angel and she lives in Angelville.
Angelville.
She owns the place.
Does she?
I don't know.
The whole town? I don't know, whatever. She runs that town. Like,
not to interrupt your thing.
Oh. Hey, so that's what it sounds like.
Fucking microphone.
But yeah, just the three of them. Like, we've been waiting for them since close to the start of season 1 because.
I suppose they introduced the kind of notion of them when they saw or when they were killing off Jesse's dad.
Yeah, exactly. So we knew that Jodie, TC, and presumably Jesse's grandmother were going to arrive at some point. They don't really feel like the characters from the book to me so far, which was I found that a little bit annoying because we've been waiting for them for 3 years, and they're especially Jodie and TC. They're two of the best characters in the fucking books. They're really fucked up, and yeah, I mean, like,
which is which again?
Jodie's the one that beats the
small.
shit. No, TC's the small one.
Okay.
Jodie's the guy that can beat the shit out of pretty much anybody. Now it's only an episode in, and they haven't really fleshed them out as Superman yet, so there's time to.
I was gonna say, it seems to me like obviously the grandmother will be the main of the three, and then Jodie, the one who can beat everybody up, seems like he'll be more featured than TC. TC seems like he's
because I really was big on TC.
But it seems like from
TC.
Again, basing this on one episode, so who knows?
Yeah,
he was kind of the more background of the two because obviously
a lot of history.
There's history between Jesse and Jodie
and TC though as well. Like TC is TC has a thing in the comics of I don't know whether I bring this in or not. Should I say it?
Go for it.
He fucks chickens in the comics. Quite a lot, actually. Yeah, she fucks any animals. At one point, he fucks a fish in the comics, I think.
Don't think they'll be doing that in the...
I remember the fish, actually.
He fucks a fish.
Won't do that in the TV show. I do.
I think they will, but you won't see. It'll be like you just see
an off-camera noise.
Yeah. Just it was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You just see a chicken run out of the door.
Yeah.
That could.
They
work.
could put a nod in for
Funny enough, I was
actually
I did notice the same. They were very different.
Yeah.
Not too different, but at the same time, very fresh look at thing. And that's it straying a little bit from the comics with their characters. But TC won me over nearly immediately. And there's a few lines that do that, like Jesse shoots the glass thing behind Grandma.
Yeah.
TC is in the back and is like, "Little Jesse, that's my swamp consomme." Immediately, I couldn't stop laughing at just that point of just like.
What does that
so
mean?
Sad.
My swamp what does that mean?
It's like a swamp kind of. jam kind of thing, like
Right.
his food.
Right.
Like, it's like, but he immediately goes for that, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
when he sees him and notices him for the phone, Lil Jesse? God damn, here's Lil Jesse.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's even the voice
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
over a little bit because he's just that kind of person.
Right.
Jodie, on the other hand, had a great, or kind of a creepy opening where he's just gutting that crocodile, which
Yeah.
was cool. But the fight between him and Jesse was just so good.
That was
Like,
that was
I
good
was
at
like,
first.
he is going to be a force to be reckoned with this.
Yeah.
Like, he lifts the car nearly onto his fucking head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like,
think.
he takes that whole gang on by himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's going to be a complete force to be reckoned with this
Yeah.
this season. Like, and it's going to be good.
That'll be the,
Yeah.
I think, the main thing toward, probably one of the things he has to overcome at this season will be Jodie.
Yeah.
It'll have to be
Oh, yeah.
resolved. Yeah, of course. Just I don't know if they'll do it the comic way, but yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be good. It's going to be good. We're in for some good shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, those three introduced straight away. Grandma, I think she looks.
Who's the
perfect.
actress that plays?
Betty Buckley.
What do I know her from? Because I
Um,
recognize her from something else, but I
looked
couldn't put
this
my
up
finger on
the
her.
other day. She is everything I look up at her. They call her a living legend in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah.
I will say this about her. They got the look of Grandma absolutely perfect. Like,
Mhm.
just her face, that wizened face, looks exactly like she does in the comics.
Yeah.
Pretty much, anyway.
She's a singer and a thing. She's in quite a lot. She was in Carrie. Let's see.
Say it was Betty Buckley.
Betty Buckley, yeah.
It's not a hugely
She's not
expansive
got a huge
filmography.
one.
Yeah.
I think her TV is crazy good. She's been in a shitload of TV. She's also a theatre, a fuckload of Broadway musicals. Like,
Yeah.
her discography, she has about 15 albums, 16 maybe.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Cast recordings, other contributions. Like, she's been nominated quite a lot. Only won one though.
She won a Tony Award in 1983.
for Cats.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
It might have been. So I
Um,
watched Carrie last year.
Yeah.
So it might have been from Carrie that I
Ah,
recognized
right,
her.
okay. She's the mother, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, that's her there.
Um, But yeah, I mean, it's look, it's only the season opening.
Yeah.
Like as Ken said when I was asking about it yesterday, it's like, what did you think of if you watched the episode, what did you think of it? He said it was good, but it could have been better. Which
Well,
I
I
agree
thought it was a perfectly fine opening for
Yeah.
the season
Yeah,
Right,
same.
okay.
because it solves the whole tulip situation.
Mm.
You get introduced to the like it serves the purpose of an opening season perfectly fine, and
Right.
then it sets up some kind of mystery because when Tulip is coming back from the dead, she sees God, and God is like, "You've been chosen, and you need to," and then it just cuts.
Finally.
It cuts
Yeah.
away, and it's like, okay, what?
That was one of the big things of the episode. I actually
Yeah.
immediately had to write
And
that
it was
down.
so
I was like,
off.
finally.
It was
God
so
speaks.
kind of off the cuff.
Yeah.
It was just it happened.
The God dog thing is very fucking odd.
It is really fucking weird.
God dog.
But
Yeah.
I got such like Run Forest Run like vibes
Mhm.
Yeah.
from that scene, even when she's running really weird
Yeah.
and then stops, and you're like, is that where they filmed Forrest Gump? Because it's fucking, it
Yeah.
has to be. It's.
Yeah.
I need to look that up. I couldn't find it anywhere if that was actually where they
Mhm.
filmed it.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's cool. And then God out of nowhere, and the speaking, and
I think-
it was such a big moment in my head. I think.
I think Ken might be
overthinking
looking
it.
that up right now. Yeah, he is.
That was cool. And Tulip's story wasn't dragged out. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't over 2 or 3 episodes where you're like, will she come back? Will she
Yeah,
not?
I did.
She's back straight away.
Yeah. I mean, again,
My one problem with that is just kind of, and it's not so much a problem that she's back. I knew they're not going to kill her off.
Yeah.
This in the way they did, so off
Yeah.
the cuff. It was just that there was no tension in it because this is going to happen,
Yeah.
and maybe
I'm thinking
with the opening credits showing her with a
the
gun, it's just kind of
Even
like
the trailer a couple of months ago showed
Yeah,
her
it's just kinda like-
doing loads of stuff.
so. And whatever, some people just don't watch the trailer. I know, Aiden, you didn't watch
I
that trailer.
either didn't see it or forgot about it.
Yeah. But like having it in the opening credit, it's just kind of like, well, there's no tension from that now as to whether, and maybe it's not designed to be. Like,
yeah,
everybody knows she's going to come back, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
With Tulip as well, the whole the Purgatory was absolutely fantastic. I think
Yeah.
it might be my favorite thing of the whole episode.
Yeah.
It
It's
was
quite similar to
done-
Hell, so that's probably why you liked it so much.
Maybe, but there was something really good about it where the way it was done with the sitcom and the laugh track
Yeah.
at the most horrible moments, not the funny
Yeah.
moments, because
Mhm.
it was none. But her story was played out on an almost like, I was watching a video earlier,
It looked like a
and the guy
theater.
goes, "Hey, it looks like a really disturbed version of I Love Lucy,"
Mhm.
that kind of thing. And I was like, that's hilarious. But
Yeah.
the way it's done, fantastic. Even like from start to finish,
Yeah.
the cat thing on the wall. Even when they got all the favorite stuff in the house
Yeah.
and put it on the table next to her, it appeared in purgatory
Mhm.
on the table. So you see the blueberry
Yeah.
things, you see the car, you see the beer, everything's
Yeah.
starting to appear, and more things noticed in the room
Yeah.
as they're talking. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And it had such a good look for the purgatory as well, because it was
Yeah.
like there was a one window, there was a door, but everything else was just kind of black and
like on a stage,
nothingness.
kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
also
I
had
thought
the
it was
breakdown of it,
yeah.
because of your one who
Yeah.
breaks character. I'm a reenactor, I work here, and you're like
Mhm.
the kind of, it's like that. What's in it? The illusion starts to kind of
Yeah.
fall away
Yeah.
and just reveal itself of
Yeah. And
okay.
the whole clever I need more time and the battery with the stop clock was kind of that's
I hate
neat.
those
That's-
cat clocks. I don't know
I
why.
want
They've always
one. I want-
freaked me out. Always freaked me out.
What was I going to say? Two things about this are intriguing me.
Mhm.
Number one, what's God trying to say to Jet or to Julep? Sorry,
Yeah.
if I had to guess, I know that like I mentioned earlier on, when God actually God brings Julep back in the comics,
Mhm.
and God speaks to Cassidy as well in the comics.
Mm.
But what he kind of says to both of them was like, "Stop Jesse looking for me. Just talk him
Yeah.
out of it." I'm imagining maybe that's what he's trying to say. What he wants to do, like, given chosen to stop him fucking looking for
Mhm.
me. I think maybe that might be what it is.
He'll do anything not to be found, really,
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Like,
I think that might be
kill
it.
those son of bitches. I don't care.
Exactly.
Like,
But the other thing I'm wondering about is, I don't believe this is in the comics, the whole thing where Grandma gets a couple of drops of Jesse's blood and that's part of the deal. That I have no idea.
I was going to say, what was the deal with that?
more.
Because it looked like she looked kind of decrepit, like real weak.
yeah,
Then Jesse drops some of his blood onto a napkin, which she proceeds to put somewhere.
I think
Yeah.
her power, if I remember correctly from the comics, comes from souls.
Yeah.
So she needs souls to be,
Hmm.
isn't it?
I can't remember
I
offhand.
think that's like.
I was
Jesse
more
used to collect
implying that
souls
she
for
put the bloody rag on her vagina.
That's Ken said that to me too. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that looked a bit, and she looked very excited
Uh-huh.
when she did it.
Yeah.
That blood, I think, is more significant than I think most who watch it will be like, nah, that's weird. A blood oath is a big thing.
Hmm.
No,
Well,
I think it's. I think
um,
it's. They made it pretty. They seem well. We don't know what it means
What she
necessarily.
can
but,
do with that blood as
but
well.
yeah, but
like,
they
look
made
what
it.
she did with fingernails and a hair.
Yeah, but they made it pretty clear that this is important. By the way, so
Yeah.
I'm
But I
intrigued to
think-
see where they go with that one.
I think it's going to be some, and I'm speculating here, you guys might know other things. Like, I think it's something to do with the Custer blood, because
Okay.
Could be.
they had him do that with the hand, and then when Jesse's mom, when they were doing the flashback,
Yeah.
and they cut her open, and then it was like, should we sew her up now? I was like, no, put her in the machine.
Yeah.
I imagine it's some kind of harvesting thing, so I don't know. She not, like, the grandmother knows there's another Custer that she can use, so maybe she doesn't need the mother anymore.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I haven't read the comics all the way through since a few months before Preacher started. That's when I finished the comics.
Yeah.
It's nearly
So I
3
haven't-
years ago.
So yeah, I haven't read the
Look
comics in
at
like
it.
3 years. So I
Yeah.
I can't remember, and there's nothing that I can think of that would indicate where they're going with that plot line. So that's
Mhm.
interesting. So that's
There were
something I've-
there were quite a few good questions raised in this
Yeah.
episode.
Mm.
It's not like questions
Hints
I don't
and
care
stuff like
about whatever.
Yeah.
They also kind of pushed more towards the love triangle
Yeah.
between
Everything's out in the open
between
now.
Yeah.
Jesse,
Like,
And again,
Cassidy, and Tulip.
they did that in the comics as well, but
Mhm.
in a much different way. I've no problem with how they're doing that for the most part in this. Like I said, I brought this up already in
Hmm.
season 1, I think, when Tulip shags Cassidy.
Hmm.
Like, it just seems sort of thrown in there and just, she's just shagging for whatever. And there was no sort of, it was never really made clear what her motivation was.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? So, I mean, I know, like, not everything has to be explicit, obviously.
Mhm.
And things have to...
Didn't she look super bored?
She did look super bored, yeah. So it was just a bit odd. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm just like, what
she
was
just
her...
needed a shag. Or good shagging. As
Yeah.
as he put
But
it.
like, what-
shagged her.
But what was
See,
there?
that's it. That was the last real secret between Jesse and
Cassidy,
Cassidy.
yeah.
It was that kind of last thing of right.
Not quite.
Everything's out on the.
No, it's not.
What else is still hidden?
Do you remember in the very first episode, the pilot episode, when Cassidy was when Cassidy was on that plane
Mhm.
at his entrance as he
Oh
jumps
yeah,
out of
we
his plane.
don't know what that was from.
Exactly. And he was on the phone to somebody as well.
Seamus, wasn't it?
No. In the,
I
the very, very first
don't think
episode.
that's gonna come up into anything.
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I do.
go on.
And the reason that I do is because of episode 6, Les Enfants du Sang.
Ah,
Now, they hinted at that last season. I
Mhm.
mentioned it when it came up. Cassie was on a laptop, and I actually
Yeah.
paused and I was like, oh my God. is that-
spoilers for future episode names of this season. by the
Spoilers
way.
for everything we do on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But like I saw, he was on a laptop and looking at someone, and the website said Les Enfants du Sang. Holy shit, did that say what I think it said? And does that mean what I think it means? And I looked up in the comics and I was like,
Everybody
Fuck,
who
that is what
speaks
it
any
is.
French now is like, oh no, your pronunciation.
I don't care. Listen,
Just put on the accent. That's all you have to do.
Les Enfants du Sang.
There you go. That's 100 times better already.
Thank you.
You did it in a German accent.
Enfant,
It was very
enfant.
angry.
Well, Hitler's in this. I got confused.
Hilter.
I got
Hilter.
confused.
He's also Austrian, but go on.
Hilter.
Yeah.
Hilter, sorry.
Hilter Skilter. So
Okay,
anyway,
so there is one other thing before they needed to get this out, but the fight.
yeah,
I was only talking to Ken earlier about that fight and
Mhm.
how most of it is blurry.
yeah,
There's things
But
in
it's
the, it's in
deadly,
it's in the background.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's
the
kinda
camera's
shown on the foreground.
Yeah, Tulip is in the foreground because it's kind of just like
And
this
the
is the
moving
pressing.
wheelchair
This is the
and-
pressing issue. That stuff doesn't matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like this is where your focus needs to
they
be.
threw each other around. I fucking loved
It
it.
was deadly,
so
yeah.
good. They were beating the shit out of each other, and I think they needed it. And then afterwards, when she was back, Cassidy it was like a little child. I already asked her.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to talk. And you're like,
Um,
fuck's sake, Cassidy, don't be a child about it.
hmm
But episode 6, though, I'm super excited about that. So, and I'm interested to see what they do with that
I
particular
hope it lives up.
plot line.
You
for
only have to
Cassidy.
wait 5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully that'll be worth the wait.
Do we want to discuss? Kind of, we've touched on all the major points of the episode now. Do you want to discuss anything that came up in the credits? Because obviously
yes.
the credits new for the season again. They
changed
have
it up.
some possible spoilers or hints.
We
to
did see
watch.
quite a lot. I'll say Hairstar first.
Mhm.
Was the first thing I really, really noticed.
Could you can just play the thing and just play and pause, and we can go through it if you
I
want.
can did. I've got. Well, I think Hairstar is one of the first things I see.
Just make sure it's muted.
Well, of course, yeah.
I don't want to
It
go.
looks-
"Du-du-du-du-du."
It looks like him completely. Just
Yeah, that drove you mad when
blood-soaked
Ken was in it a
room.
few minutes
Mhm.
ago. Ken, did you find out, by the way, if that was a Forrest Gump thing? Or it's not? All right. There you go, Joe.
Let's just
fine.
say no.
Let's just say that Joe is completely
Oh,
wrong.
there we go.
Oh, here we go.
Alright.
Back a little.
So
Back a little, yes.
okay, so
We're going full IGN here.
we
Yeah.
are going full IGN. I'll put up the brightness a little bit.
That like
Just as
the look in her
displayed.
face, it's perfect.
She just does it so well.
I know that I've problems with the adaptation of the actual characters so far, but you know,
She seems to
Hopefully
look okay. Yeah.
she looks deadly. Yeah, hopefully I'll get over myself.
You know, this starts off with
She's got some kind of swampy feels.
swampy
Field.
feel. So that's Angelville. I take it as it comes down. They're in the car
hmm
until this here. That was
So
like, it looked. Usually, when they show the name like this, as starring Dominic Cooper.
well,
it
it must be
someone in-
him. But it must be
As a
him then. So
sheriff?
why does he look like a
Do
sheriff?
you know who it could be?
Go on.
I could be wrong, but it could be John Wayne.
What?
You were
Could
saying
be
that's
John
his
Wayne.
favorite thing.
Yeah,
it could be.
because now they haven't. It'd be weird if they brought it in now because they haven't touched on it at all. But in
Yeah.
the comics, John
Yeah.
Wayne is constantly appearing to him,
Yeah.
and like it's always sort of like that. Like in the background, you never see
Uh-huh.
John Wayne's face.
Isn't it his guardian angel?
His guardian
His
angel,
guardian
pretty much. Yeah,
angel is John
exactly.
Wayne,
Ken, yeah. So that could be what they're going
And
for
it's
there.
significant
Maybe
because
you can't see his face. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's when Dominic Cooper
His
Yeah.
name,
his name
yeah.
pops up, so it's usually something to do with the character.
yeah. So that could be what that is.
Um,
We'll find out.
This
Now,
next one,
one.
that kind of looks like Cassidy to me.
I was
Hanging
going to
upside
say,
down in a tree.
and the other person looks like
This is Jodie and TC.
Jesse.
That's definitely Jesse.
That's Jesse, Jodie, TC.
and that
And
could be
Cassidy
upside
must be
down, yeah.
hanging from the
Cassidy's
tree. So it's
hanging-
like,
I wonder what that's about.
Maybe
Um,
airing out their differences because that's not going to help.
no.
Yeah,
Fuck.
we'll find out tonight. We won't find
Joseph
out. We'll find out.
Gilgun. Joseph Gilgun comes up.
So the next one is Tulip with some sort of
I'd say
badass
that's
looking gun.
Yeah, and Jodie.
And that's Jodie on the left. So
So I don't know if you know, but this gun is the one her choice for the battle. that comes after that.
Yeah.
Between them and the Grail. It was shown, I think, in the trailer.
Oh,
Comic-Con
I didn't
last
see
year.
anything.
Oh, right,
to do
okay.
with that.
They stormed the compound.
Oh,
and,
okay.
You just see her with that gun shooting the fuck out of him.
Oh, no way.
So
That's
they're
interesting.
getting ready for that battle. This
So,
here, Graham
somebody-
McTavish.
So somebody
This
even
is a
fucked through a
tricky
wall.
This is going to be hard to do with 10 seconds previous. Oh, wow. The whole thing is 10
we've
seconds
we've not
previous.
gone. Yeah, we've not gone that far.
That's okay. Just
I
trigger
know
finger
one, yeah.
ready.
I think that might be John Wayne, actually.
Yeah,
now I
that'd be
see it,
amazing,
yeah.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So you got Root Nega, and then
Okay, so
that long coat does kind of look like the old Saint of Killers.
and that makes sense because it's Gray McTavish's name appears
yeah.
yeah,
on that. So it looks like they're in some kind of boarding facility, or
Oh, here
this
we go.
is a great
and that
one.
looks identical. So like Eugene, because it has the same kind of walls and same kind of
Yeah,
thing.
Saint
So
of
wherever
Killers,
Eugene seems to be, that's where the Saint of Killers is.
his shorts have pineapples on them. They're fucking hilarious. And he's wearing boots, like as if they. That is. I'm already excited for that scene.
Yeah.
Like
me
I'm
too.
already excited for that. It does, and it looks really unfinished though. Look at all the wires and stuff hanging around.
Mhm.
It's-
Yeah.
This looks like a hospital lady, maybe. Yeah, maybe
So
they're in the
So
same.
some kind of
place, though.
some kind of cis. It looks like the Saint of Killers and Eugene might interact this
Yeah.
year.
That should be fun. How the fuck did you get out of hell?
yeah.
Ian
Ready?
Khaledi.
Oh,
That's
So now
the
we
one.
have
Okay, so
Hairstar and
the Grail.
what looks like
Hairstar at the Grail and a load of monks. It looks like.
They're
yeah,
not monks.
the two people there in
Or would
white.
they be?
They look like,
Harry Carries.
They're
Harry Krishna.
Hindu.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
Hindu.
Oh, are they?
Look at the head thing here, and this is also that's flowers. You know the way they do it at ceremonies. They throw
Yeah.
the flowers up.
Are the two people in white there? Is that
That's Grail.
They're Grail members. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
but they're
sure.
not the two. I can't remember.
Featherstone
Yeah,
and,
they're not
um,
Featherstone and
The other
What's
one's
his
dead
name
now,
again?
isn't he?
No, he's not dead. No.
Is he not?
no. And yeah, so you've got Hairstar shooting a lot of people.
That's gonna annoy me.
lot of
What's his name again?
I can't think of his name.
We'll look it up in a while.
So Hairstar's kicking ass.
Uh-huh.
Hilter.
Hilter
So
with
Noah
a
Taylor,
lot of pins.
Keep Calm and Grinder
Uh-huh.
on. He's got a Wow. Above and Beyond is another one, and the other one down below I can't remember.
Hoover.
So he's
Before
got a
it's
job,
Hoover, that's a good
and it
name.
looks
Yeah.
like he's working in.
Some kind of coffee shop.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Starbucks.
So he's working.
Or whatever the
That's gonna be
in-universe
fun.
thing
I think
is.
Hitler working anywhere in
Uh-huh.
modern day is going to be fucking hilarious.
I'd be interested to see what his thing is going to be for
So
this year.
This one shocked me a little bit.
That's Julian
Julianne
Emery.
Emery, who plays
That's
Featherstone,
Featherstone. Yeah.
Featherstone, as gets a credit. I thought that was actually really significant. She's
Yeah.
going to be a huge part of this season.
Mhm.
more
But she
than
seems
anything.
bloodied up in that
Yeah.
first shot.
Good
so-
old Tulip does that to her. They have a fight at the compound when they
Oh,
storm it.
nice! I'm looking forward to that.
Did you just watch the trailer?
No,
I
didn't.
I
sorry.
might have, I just
watched,
can't remember.
I watched the season trailer. I didn't
Yeah.
watch the Comic-Con extended scene.
Yeah, they storm it, and she's there as well.
Okay.
I think Root Nega or Tulip knocks the shit out of her,
Yeah,
supposedly,
as you would.
and
Yeah.
says the line.
She did kill her.
As just about hitting her in the head. God damn, it's good to be alive.
Nice.
So that's going to be good.
So you got Julianne Emery, and then you've got.
That's Hoover.
That's Hoover.
Mhm.
And
Did he just receive a cane
it looks like a cane.
from
Is
like? He looks like he's on stage, maybe doing some kind of dance.
A purgatory, maybe?
I don't know. First
It
play
does look
again?
like he's going to...
And he is the main thing.
Colin Cunningham, TC, so he gets a
That's
main one.
TC, right?
Mhm.
That's good. His one is actually from the first episode, so there's nothing much. Betty Buckley just gets the hair, and God gets the dog
Mhm.
face.
Yeah.
And then we have a weird basement one with Jesse.
Yeah.
I don't see his white collar. That's kind of weird. And then Angelville. Then the last
Some
one,
kind
which
of
Ken
cannon.
talked about,
Yeah.
there's a cannon, which we
So-
think is the guys from the other compound who are the competitors for
Yeah.
Grandma.
So TC got a credit, but
Jodie, yeah,
Jodie
the young man who
didn't?
played Jodie didn't.
It's
Weird.
interesting, isn't it?
considering my opinion, like 10 minutes ago, where I said Jodie
Yeah.
seemed like the more important of the two.
He definitely is. The history as we
So
talk, and then the story that unfolds with Jesse to do with
Mhm.
Jodie, and then their conclusion. But that's way down the line.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just one of those weird things. I mean, I don't know if you've ever... I've started rewatching Ally McBeal, which is...
I'm excited
going-
to see how this comes in.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
First of all,
Deborah. I know
No! That's everybody loves
I
Raymond.
know.
No!
90s
Come
TV
on.
programs run together.
No.
Go on. What, you were watching Ally McBeal?
Ma, what's wrong with Raymond? That's
Was
my
this-
impression of Robert.
Was
Thank
this
you.
after your castration? Did they take your balls before or after you started watching Ally McBeal?
So, what happened, you guys? Did your balls drop off? That's from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ally McBeal. Ally McBeal is one of those shows where she's very annoying. Every other character is amazing.
Isn't
Anyway,
Boston Legal a spin-off of Ally McBeal?
No, Boston Legal is a spin-off of The Practice.
Sorry,
But
yeah.
all three are David E. Kelly shows.
Okay.
So of course they're all set in a law firm somewhere in Boston. But but anyway, Peter McNichol, who plays Cage in the show. In the first couple of episodes, it says also starring, like after the main credits, it says guest starring Peter McNichol, and then eventually he starts getting the main credit.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's like a weird or like actually another one, Freaks and Geeks. There was an actress called Busy Phillips, and she's in most episodes, but she's not in the main opening credits thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it could
So
just
it
be
could just be a weird
oversight,
contract thing
yeah.
or something. And she was going to be main cast in season 2, but then it got cancelled.
Ah.
So maybe it's something weird like that.
Yeah.
Like so. My point is like it's
Let's not read
necessarily-
too much into it.
Exactly. Yeah. How long is that sneak peek?
No, they just showed like a minute of the next episode, but
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
when I went to the promo thing, so this is the one here. So as you can see,
This is audio only, so you might want to.
I'm not doing the audio, so it won't ruin it. But it's just things to come kind of thing. The audio is important, but I don't want it to ruin the old
Uh-huh.
podcast.
Yeah.
These are the few of the things.
That'll happen next week, so which we can see, but you can't, even if you're watching at home on YouTube.
This is all next week, is it?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is next week's episode.
Okay.
Oh, deadly. Okay, I'm looking for. Oh, holy shit, that's gonna be awesome. Oh, I can see what you're saying there.
So
my
few
my
good
God,
things.
she's hot.
Few good
Anyway.
things that I noticed was Hairstar brings the last bit of his soul, the 1%, which
Ooh.
I thought was really cool, but you don't
Oh,
notice it as
now
much.
we know the hairstars in the next week. Oh, spoilers. Anyway,
We're a spoiler show, and
yeah.
but it's
Remember we made such a big deal when we were talking about season 1 not to talk about the comic book stuff?
That all went in the out the window in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I think
But,
I remember the first time we were talking about that, and then
Yeah.
Mick immediately just goes, "What is the difference?" And it just goes, opened up a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, we're going to talk about
I've
this.
loosened my opinion on needing to hide myself from
I know. I think.
comic spoilers because it's so different.
I think
just
that's what I was
like,
just going to
okay.
say. Yeah, like things that they've strayed so far from the comics
Mhm.
at this point. Like, well, this happens in the comics, not necessarily going to happen here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know. But yeah.
All right.
It's
So
our first episode.
So that was Angelville.
I feel better about the episode now. I'm glad we had this talk.
hmm
yeah.
I really am.
I
didn't think it was a bad opening.
Final
at all.
thoughts for me was kind of, I thought it was a good opening to the
Yeah.
season.
I feel like I should rewatch all of everything up to and including the latest episode again.
So just watch all 24 episodes of Preacher that exist so far.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty much.
someone by next week.
I want a
I
full
could
review
do it.
before the weekend.
I could do it if I just stopped playing Pokemon Go for 10 minutes.
There
maybe
you
I
go.
could
So
I
you're
could do
solving two problems. You're getting to watch all of Preacher, and you're solving your
Yeah.
horrible Pokemon addiction.
Do you know how much I walked over the weekend? Did I tell you?
No,
Between Saturday and Sunday, I walked 40 kilometers.
I did that to school and back in my day. Every day.
Mick, you're 4 weeks older than me. Stop talking bollocks. Anyway,
Before the wheel was invented.
So the plan, ongoing plan obviously is kind of, I don't know what we maybe need to talk about what we're going to do. We'll talk about it off air. Question of the week wise, are we
Yeah.
going to
Cool.
still do that or just have the kind of shorter episodes for the Preacher season? But
I think-
we'll
I think-
decide on that. But the new schedule's hopefully going to be recording on a Tuesday and then episode out when you're listening to this, possibly on the Friday.
yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
That would be nice if we could stick
Would
to
that be alright for you, Ken?
Friday.
Should we? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Friday should be our day
Yeah.
that it goes out.
Yeah.
I think it would
Yeah.
be great because then it gives us the weekend.
Either
like,
that or I
stuff.
mean I could try and edit the podcast quickly and then we get the podcast out Wednesday, video Friday, or
Yeah.
we can do both on Friday. It's
Because again, one other thing we didn't mention at the start of the episode was that we forgot to actually upload the last episode. Because
we didn't forget.
We did.
I uploaded and edited the episode.
See, what I was saying
I just
was...
forgot to send that audio onto Ken
Exactly.
to
or
add to the
tell
video.
everyone it
Exactly.
was uploaded.
I fucking did. I sent
Did
a
you?
message on our chat that says I have edited the podcast and it's ready for thing.
Yeah, well, you see, like what I was saying was I want to upload it all together.
Yeah.
So I was
Alright.
waiting for it
Yeah.
to be sent to Ken and edited and all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So anyway,
That's a good idea for our schedule.
There's
I
no
like it.
blame. There's no blame here.
Yeah.
No blame.
Not at all.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you had to blame someone, it'd be Mick.
Ken has something to say. He
I
looks
think he
like
does.
I had a really good idea.
What's your
Okay.
idea, Ken?
I think you should rate the episodes on how many stars out of hair stars. So how many out of 5 rate the episode on a hair star? How
That's-
many hair stars do you give it out of 5?
So, if you can't hear Ken at home, which you probably can't, he's saying we should rate each episode on a scale of 1 to 5 hair stars. Ooh.
Neatly trimmed beard out of hair.
If
stars.
I gotta give this one,
I think it was a solid 3 hair stars.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I'd give it 3 hair stars out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I actually
Would you give it 4?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed this episode and
Okay.
I loved seeing. Yeah, good introductions, good.
So,
Yeah, I like it.
so would that make it? Now, are we
We're not
going-
doing half stars. That's just dumb.
No.
It's 3.25
Okay.
stars.
Are we going? Are we going 3.33? Are we
Go worse.
Are we-
Recurring.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have
Um,
enough space on screen for all of the threes.
3.14.
Now, should we? If we're going to do that, should we go
Pie
majority
stars.
rules or just what?
No, we all have our individual ratings. I don't have to agree with you on this. It's not a
Oh, we
list.
just yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you put hair star
What
on
kind of
Twitter, like you know the little thing, I think
Yeah.
his face comes up as an emoji.
What kind
Does
of
it?
So if you do it like for trio thing, that would be amazing on like
Yeah.
on Twitter.
what kind of
Huh.
idiots would try and rank the things they watch and put them in some kind of order?
Yeah.
Like that's just a dumb
Yeah.
idea.
It's an
Yeah.
awful idea.
You just
Oh.
made the list.
You're on my list of enemies, Tony.
All right.
Okay,
Should
so
we wrap this up?
yeah, we
Yeah.
happy for this week. Hopefully my microphone does not. Yep. Chip,
How much are one of those leads?
I don't know. The place I bought them shut down.
Oh, for fuck's
I'm
sake!
sure there's places you can buy.
Yeah, no. Obviously they sell them in more than one shop.
I can
but
think of
Yeah.
one place. It's called the internet.
yeah, that's where I got them.
You might have to go to the dark web. I don't know. Anyway,
Audio web.
yeah.
No. So good recording week, gents. Any final thoughts, Aidan?
No, I'd like. Yeah, listen, we'll talk about the mechanics of whether or not we're going to do the question week and stuff off air. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good to podcast again.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
It's
really
been a
does.
while.
I missed it.
It has
Did
been a
actually,
while.
Yeah.
That's been a while.
Joe, final thoughts.
Really enjoyable.
I'm off to
entry.
stock.
Lenny
Lenny
and
and Carl.
I'm off to
Carl-
find God.
Lenny White,
Yeah,
Carl Black.
yeah.
Enjoyable opening to this season.
Mhm.
Really, like that's why I gave it 4 hair stars.
Mm.
And it, you like that, did you?
Okay.
You
Yeah.
I can like that. But it's yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Even seeing the promo or seeing the trailer for this season. I think there's going to be some really good shit in this season.
Yeah.
Given it has been a month,
Mm-hmm.
we almost forgot. Aidan, where can you reach us? Where are we found on the internet?
You can reach us around. You can reach around. No, you can reach us on Twitter at PreachinPod. You can reach us on Gmail, preachinonpreacher@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can find us on Facebook, Preachin and Preacher.
Anything sensitive?
Fuck no, of course not.
It's
And
currently
you
at
can,
the movies, but we'll
yeah, we'll
change
update that
Well,
over the
we
weekend.
didn't do it the last time, so
Did we not?
I think it stayed at the movies for the entire season 2 of Preacher.
Oh, who cares? You can also listen
But
to
we've got some pictures now from season 3, episode 1 that we can superimpose our faces on.
Yeah, we can get Adele to work on that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we have to.
Or Ken.
Joe
Yeah.
can be grandma.
Oh, fuck off. I'm not being grandma.
Yeah,
the
Grandma Jodie
the
and
highlight
TC,
of the whole
that'd be-
thing was me
Uh-huh.
being fucking Tulip.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's hot.
It was like-
It was oddly attractive.
Yeah, oh, I
Weirdly
flopped off
enough,
to it
I
so
would
many times.
definitely pull off a fucking curly Sue kind of haircut.
I thought you were going to say I'd definitely pull off to Grandma Lungell. I was like, excuse me?
She did
Man,
say
she's
she
been
was
around-
attractive in her time.
Yeah, she's
Was she?
been around, you know. I
She's
wouldn't-
been around.
Don't knock the experience, man.
Oh God, did you
Yeah.
finish doing our contact stuff?
Oh, yeah.
The final thing I was going to say, you can listen to the entire back
Oh,
catalogue
okay.
of our episodes on preachinonpreacher.com,
Mhm.
on Spotify, on Mixcloud, or anywhere you can download podcasts and stuff
Mhm.
like that. You can just take our RSS feed and lash it in there.
Coming from a recent Spotify user, only in the last month. Good service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great service.
Love Spotify.
He was Apple Music before, so
Hmm.
We
Yeah,
are
I know.
taking sponsors.
yeah. Apple Music or Spotify if you're listening.
Because
Then
nothing
Holla.
refreshes my thirst quite like a can of Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola!
Zero sugar.
it's like people only do things because they get paid. That's just really sad. Anyway, I guess I'll talk to you guys next week then. Yeah.
Will indeed.
Next
Keep
week
on
it is.
keep on preaching.